First things first, we are recording here for YouTube, so this will be on later tonight. First things first, we already did this last week, and if you check Friday's video, it's a great video to go and look at because it's still relevant. Sorry, I just had a soda. So next week we got Monday Flash Services, Flash Manufacturing PMI and Flash Services PMI. That's Monday. That's 9:45. Tuesday, nothing high impact. Wednesday, nothing high impact. Thursday and Friday, bringing final GDP and unemployment claims, core PCE prices month over month, and then of course Trump all fucking week. Earnings wise, not a huge earnings, just a couple of like random big names. Again, check Friday's video if you guys are curious on those. But with our ETFs, and this is an opportunity for everybody to make money, right? Because for the last 9 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days in a row, we have stayed in a relatively tight range. And in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, a solid week, quad witching week, we stayed definitely in a very tight range between 835 and 874. Now, with that being said, we are expecting that tension to break, and we have targets to the upside, right? And so this week, if we do move up, I have no other target but that 490 mark directly up above us, to fill that gap and retest that first green candle to my left. So that's and I don't mind piling into this trade right now. I'm speculative, but if this happens before the bell, shit out of luck. But yeah, we're going to be watching marks right around the 484 mark. And then we're looking for, yes, a break up to hit that 490 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Doesn't matter. But this is going to be something where you can either pussyfoot out of this trade, or you can set a stop loss at the top of the structure that's nearest to you, which right now is going to be 835.65, and that's when the nearest area that if we're above that, then I would just strictly expect for 485.50 to be that second stop loss opportunity. So that's what I'm looking for next week on the Qs. Moving over to SPY. Same thing, right? Now, we left a gap behind us, and I figured that was likely going to get filled. That's only 565.72. Doesn't change the fact that the setup is mirroring or looking very similar to the Qs, with a target at first green candle to your left at 574.15. And that setup is going to require a lower time frame punchback, and you can see that box kind of lurking right directly up above you, right on the 4-hour here. Now, it's not going to translate well as you move down into the lower time frame, because on the lower time frame we look like that, right? So being above 566.45 and outside of 570 is absolutely big. Not bad. So that's what I'm looking at for SPY. Again, we're looking for a break out of range. So that is the main message this week. We are looking for range to break so that we can make some fucking actual money. Because trading in range is extremely difficult, and I'm sure a lot of you guys experienced that today. And remember, if we're able to get above that and hold, that is the floor that we broke down below. So again, once we're above or at 574, that's up for interpretation. Last one is IWM. IWM has a little bit less of a, I don't know, I really don't. It's not as exciting as the rest of them, but you have a channel, had a channel. This thing is, could be hugged back up around here, showing that it potentially broke. But I think the long and short of this, and most important factor, is that you are, again, in range. Now, on the lower time frame, you left behind a tiny gap at 205 and spent most of your day chopping in a very tight range. So that range provides either the target down at 202.50, breaking down for a floor retest at 199.25, or like the rest of them, you have a box directly up above you with a cost basis of 206 and a top at 207.35 that triggers another punchback, and that could give you a run up to 211, 212. So not a terrible setup there on the IWM. But the main focus here this week is we got to get the fuck out of range. Otherwise, we could be moving into weekly ranges, which if you guys are not familiar, a weekly range abides by the same rules, the same 1, 2, 3 rules. But as you notice, we don't see that yet. And it can look like this, which can be excruciating. So that's the main focus this week, is whether or not we can actually break up and hold and go and fill that gap. Again, 491 and some change, 492 is actually the weekly gap fill. And that's kind of where I expect to get hit. Now, that could actually start up a new area for ranging. So we'll see what that brings. But anyway, that is the ETFs for you guys, SPY, IWM, and QQQ. If you guys have anything you would like for me to take a look at, I'd be happy to do that. We're looking for empty space. We're looking for structure, consolidation. If it doesn't have that, I'm going to tell you about it. So that's cool. All right. So on the weekly, obviously you're curling up here. Not enough, but I actually admittedly took this one myself. So not bad, right? You really don't have a choice when you have a setup that looks like this, right? Because technically, and this made a move in after hours to actually complete the punchback, but you did push up and you did close directly up against 90.92. So the only targets that you have directly up above you are 93.50. And because there's nothing but empty space over here, I'm going to drop down. And what I'm looking for is my first green candle to my left. Now there's a wick here. So 96.11 and $100.20 are your two targets off the top of 93. And that's it. So if you can break this, you'll go here. If you can break that, you'll go here. Very simple. Jeffrey Dahmer. That's fucking crazy. And then he wants a request. Oh my God. All right. So anyway, that's PLTR. Not a bad setup. Not a bad potential here. It also could be in the process of creating that healthy downtrend there. So, all right. Hold on. Where did I put my notepad? I don't look like Jeffrey Dahmer. Pull up a picture right now. Not even close to. Oh my God. All right. Anyway, moving on. What else do we have here? Nvidia. Sorry, I've got bedhead today. I was outside power washing. So again, I want to emphasize that there is no empty space on this. There is no signal at the moment. There is a potential to go up and retest your weekly channel that you've been operating here. You didn't really start off really well as far as being able to accomplish that. But if you do look up above you, you have a 121.50 close, and that could give you your next leg up to 128. And that's it, right? You don't really have, there's no empty space, there's no structure. As you move down, a little bit more structure appears, but this is not a setup that I would touch. And I really, really think that this is probably one of the worst stocks to trade at the moment because it just doesn't open up. So, hey Potter, where can I put the coupon code on your website? My power washer is electric, actually. I don't need a gas one. I'm not doing like major power washing, I used to run power washers on the side of buildings hanging from a rope. So, bruh, hold on. But whenever you click on the product code or one of the links, it'll say, do you have a coupon? Click on that. So I'll do now. Hold on. Yeah. All right. So anyway, that's Nvidia, and again, I'm sorry, but it it has the potential to give you a quick move, but the empty space here is just lacking. So it should on mobile. Also, it is possible that my assistant turned the coupon code off. Let me see. Yeah, the 40% off. Hold on, let me see if she turned it off. Then we'll get back to your guys' request just a moment. Making me do about 1,000 things here. Gotta fucking put an authentication code in. 1 second, almost done. Just got married, should have got you power washing. Yeah, I power washed the entire house yesterday. It was pretty fun. I really enjoy it, dude. Like, I would never pay somebody to do that. I like doing my own shit. Pause. Hmm. I'm looking, hold on. If you wait till the end of the stream, I'll reactivate it, or shoot me a DM if you are interested in the 40% off, and I'll help you out. All right. Anyway, let's move on. Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube and you missed it, I guess she turned it off. So make sure you shoot me a DM on one of my platforms, preferably Discord, so you're not talking to a scammer. All right, keep dropping your request, and let's keep looking. I saw, well, dude, yeah, that actually doesn't look bad at all. So you're sitting on a weekly floor, right? Holding yourself up right there. You've got a 24-hour box, and you ended green right here. Now, you don't really have too much more structure, and it is something that is a little bit loose, but it does provide a pretty nice box, and I'm just using this to emphasize the overhead 850. So the way that I see this is, you know, basically if you can get above 837, you could go fill that gap, punch over, and then you would have a first target here at 865, and then a second target at 881. Do you share your Discord name? It's Potter Stocks, just the same as it's not Potter Stocks PBS, but just Potter Stocks. Yeah, you can go on my website, and then you'll see a Discord link, and then you'll see my messages in the announcement page. You could just click on that, or tag me in the Discord. It's simplestacksinvestments.com. All one word. Should look like this. All right, moving on. Not a bad setup. You could add that one to a watch list for sure. Remember to be setting alerts. So I actually will be watching Carvana this week. I made about 1,000% on that sucker, and I noticed that at the end of the day, it pulled itself back up and built a box on top of 190. 24-hour candle, kind of resisting. So I think it's really simple. We're looking for a break above these two wicks at 896.25, and then on the 4-hour, we're looking for a move up to 205 or 206 and 209.68. Those are our two targets. On the 4-hour, the target actually moves up to 200, so you'll have 200 and then 205. But yeah, those are our targets. So thank you for the gifts, y'all. Shucks, make me blush, dude. There's a free Discord and there's a paid Discord. So yeah, both exist. All right, moving on. Actually, yeah, I don't mind Carvana at all. And again, remember to set those alerts. The gamma on this thing is crazy. I bet you Affirm's gamma is probably similar. Uh-oh. Affirm. Oh, shit. Hold on. Did I just randomly find a sexy stock pick? Sexy stock picks with a super... I'm sorry. $50.75 should give you 52.61. And I could see a trip up to 56 right there. Yeah. Nice box. And then there's actually little pockets of empty space beyond that, but you got a nice box that you're coming out of right now. So I actually don't mind that setup at all. I'm going to set my alert. All right. Anyway, I like that. Lily weekly candle close above cost basis with a 950 target 6 weeks out. 6 weeks out. Jesus Christ. Weekly candle close above cost basis. So I'm assuming you're looking at this, right? I'm going to make something really clear, right? When you bounce off of structure, which you ought to, it only matters if you're able to reclaim something, right? And you'll notice that if I drop a line off of that wick, it's this green candle right there. So until 854.44 is topped off, you're not going to see anything. Now that potential is here, right? With a move over Thursday's high of day, and that would give you a target, I would say at 864, which is going to be the 50% mark of the whole drop. And then you could see a run up to 900. So why are the targets on the 4-hour and not the 24-hour? Because if I can see structure better on the 4-hour, then it's a play that I'm identifying on the 4-hour. Thanks for the 40% off. Yeah, we won't be doing that again for a while until some new shit pops off. I'm glad you guys were able to get that though. And those of you guys who DM me about it, make sure you shoot me another DM so I can do that right after the stream because I'll forget. All right. Uber. Yeah, you keep dropping your ooh. Damn. Well, I mean, I think the long and short of this is you're mid punchback or executing a punchback. So on the 4-hour, you're looking for a gap to fill at 76.36, and then you're looking for the overhead price. Well, I must admit, on the 4-hour, it almost makes more sense to give you the double wick at 77, which has you directly at cost basis now. But I would say that 76.50 broken, and then you have a nice little pocket of empty space up to 79.20. So it doesn't look bad at all. Target. So this one actually I think is a candidate to play it to the upside. While I get the dump, but you are trying to hang on to your weekly floor. I mean, you're right there, and you didn't close green, so this week might be your only chance to do that. So this is definitely something I wouldn't mind setting an alert on. You've got a nice box up above. You're struggling to go and reclaim that. So if you get a 105.65 break, you would have one target of 107.27, and then you would have a second target of 101.10, which would be your imbalance, and a third target of 112. I'm noticing that there's some bullishness. Yeah, there's some bullishness this week for sure. All right, moving on. So this is actually a good one, right? It's not bad, and it just needs so even if you just want to write a watch list, but set your alerts. Move on. Set multiple alerts. Like I'll set alert at 105.10. Cool. What's up, Jose? Tempest AI. Oh, I see. DLTR. Here's the tough thing about this, man, is you really don't have a lot of empty space. You're bouncing up, and then it's structure to structure, right? So you have a box right here. You're at cost basis now. If that punches up, you have a high and target of 57.28, which is going to be right here, and then that is another box directly above it. So that's a 2 out of 10. Can you explain how the ETFs in range translate to other tickers? Yeah, of course. If I have your ETFs are in range, compressed and consolidated, then any moves on individual stocks are only fueled by that news or something related to their sector. But when you have a market-wide ETF movement, that gives stocks the fuel to keep going. Because if the market's moving up, then why not buy individual stocks too? So, Disney. So Disney right now is a 24-hour box, right? You haven't really completed it, but you could. 4-hour though, however, you are in a different scenario, which might be more useful, with cost basis directly underneath you, right? You got a little channel here. And so there's a possibility that you could maybe reach up and go hit this. My preference would be that you sideways it up. The goal realistically being that you break out of this channel and go and take advantage of the empty space. But you'll notice here that the first green candle to my left was the first thing that was tapped. And so what's above that, I see 103, as a potential target. That being said, when you go to the 24-hour, this is mostly empty space. But because of how you fell, I would probably piggyback things from over to the left, like 104.19. So ZT or DLTR. We'll look at that one next. Hold on. So, in theory, I like this, but also we are in a weekly area of consolidation, right? And on the 24-hour, you are approaching a punchback, which should get you out of that weekly area of consolidation. So first things first, 68.50. Secondly, you would need a 24-hour candle close up against or outside of 72.50. That's about it. That's really, you had a channel there that, so maybe, yeah, you could retest cost basis, and hopefully this is just maybe an extension of that channel, and you can punch back and get into this empty space, which would have a target right up around 91. So, oh wait, hold on. What was it? DTS? Hmm. Um, so in terms of empty space, no. Um, there's no significant bounces. There's, the only thing that I can see is that, if you lose 160, you'll hit the floor at 156, and that could give you the leg down that you're looking for. Or if you're looking for a leg up, right, you're well entrenched in this channel. So I see more sideways action, unfortunately. So, no. Keep dropping your requests if I miss it. Snow is above 159 on the 4-hour. It's literally right there. That's it. And then from there, you'll have 160.72 and 164. Oh, my eyes are dry. Oh, damn, it felt good. I like those stretches and yawns when you almost tear yourself in half. Oh. You know that moment in The Incredibles where the robot cracks the Mr. Incredible's back. I daydream about that often. Potter, you're still here? What's up, brother? Yeah, I'm still here. What do you think I got taken out? BlackRock can't get me that easy. Uh, XRP. I guess I'll look at it. I don't like it, but I'll look at it. That thing is built to take your money. So first off, any sort of bullishness would occur over 260. That's just simple as super simple. I would, because you don't have any boxes or structure, I would place the next target at 278. However, you need to be able to identify where this thing comes down, and that's a little bit more elusive. So the way that I look at it is you're operating in something like along the lines of this, and then you're holding yourself up on this old box. So 230 would be where we could recognize some potential downside movement, and then that would drive you into this box below where you'd have 212 as a cost basis and signal down. But I mean, honestly, even this box up here could be useful, and that's 245. So I don't know. Oh yeah, but yeah, I've been here, man. Yeah, I've been here. The comp is so. I think I talked about this when I drew the box. Wasn't well, not a big fan of that box. I do see this as the box, and the 4 hour is definitely that box. But I can actually consolidate this even further. Nah, fuck it, I won't do that. Yeah, I was actually gonna say this box right here, 185.35 is where we'll punch. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and look at it this way since you did reject cost basis here. You have empty space underneath you. And then what did you bounce off of? You bounced off the imbalance of the entire move. So you can go ahead and move down into a lower time frame and figure out where that falls. And it looks like this is your future box. So under 178.11, you're coming back down. Do I even got to ask the question? Ian, I can't, man. I'm married, dude. Look at it, dude. Thing is fucking cool, dude. Sometimes the amethyst in there, catching the sun. Yeah. Look at that thing, dude. That's so cool. I feel like I should put a curse in this ring when I die or something. Only because the ring is sick, I'll let it slide. Yeah, I posted it on my profile too. Wolfspeed. I thought you were just telling everybody how fast you were. Wolfspeed. Keep dropping your requests, guys. I'm going. Oh my god, that thing got a little rippy, huh? Oh. Okay, so I don't know what the fuck I was drawing here. Fuck that. Uh, here's the way I gotta go the weekly. Yeah, there it is. So it looks like a weekly candle close 690. 24-hour though, that changes a little bit and drops up here. And that's where I do see that as cost basis, even though it's a little bit skewed. So right now you need to recover the 695 floor and you need to move up to 765. So I would be on the hourly here. There's 650 and there's that 695 right there. So it's an okay setup though. One ring to rule them all. How fast you will feed. Yeah, exactly. AMD. Oh, sorry, I missed. I was going to do McDonald's. Yes, we'll do AMD next. All right, I'm hating it. Let's see. So you drop down, you touch structure as you should. This is why we trade from point A to point B. Uh, and then, you know, for all intents and purposes, this is the most recent price action. And so you've gone back up and you've retested your floor. You have not lost the 303.50 floor, and that would be signify, I think, a pullback. At the same time, you left a gap up here and a lower time frame box. So I would say your next target on that gap fill and punchback is an easy 312, 311.80. So the way that I'm hopefully making this make sense is this is your box, gap fill 307.75, and you should be able to reach that target. AMD, I've been 10 toes. My initials. Okay, so let's make this really, really simple, because if you simplifying this setup like this is ultimately the most important thing. You are refusing this floor, and that is the 107.80 floor. You have a box underneath you, which you have bounced off of, and you have a box that you're currently at with 2 touches off of the top. And so, in my opinion, if you want to go and break higher, it's 107.75. And then you could start aiming towards the target of 110.65. That's what I see. Hopefully you're not operating in this channel. So, yeah, if you wick out, watch the 108 mark. So, Dollar General. Make sure to watch this on YouTube later on. It will be posted and it is being recorded. 84.80 punchback on Dollar General is essential. That is what has to happen. So if that you can go and close, and you get a good candle close right now, I'd be watching the 82.80 area to hang on to, and I'd be trying to accomplish that $85 punchback essentially to the. I just did Wolf, didn't I? Oh no, I did a different Wolf. And so you're looking for a break over $88, and the first target is all the way up at 101. So, well, seems like this is a good candidate over 250 to go and try and touch 265, where you have left a gap up there and a target of around 280. So it actually doesn't look that bad with the 3 touches off the bottom and the consolidation. You could probably get something really cheap. But yeah, 280 and $3 even would be your targets to the upside. Meta. So you are nearing a potential 24-hour punchback with at 607. Now, however, this thing does not present any sort of empty space. So if you are able to get basically achieve that punchback, you would have an immediate target up above you of 631.30 and 644.31. Again, another one of those ones that could just as easily come back down with the 3 touches off of 375, and you know, you might be looking down at 550s. So, all right, be sure to tap your screen if you guys are on here. I'm trying to fucking take all your guys' requests. Listen, Tesla, Tesla closed really well. So it is just simply looking for a 852.50 break, and you are aiming with the ETF's cooperation. You are aiming for 862. How do you get the 24-hour chart? So you're going to go over here to the top of your it'll say time interval, and then you'll go down to the very bottom, or excuse me, sorry, to the top. It'll say add custom interval, and you'll add that 24. If you don't have all of your data, the NYSE ARCA data, then it won't show up. you won't see a difference. So you do have to pay for this or use a bunch of trials. Ooh, oh, give me a second. Oh, my eyes are getting droopy, dude. All right, I did Target already. That'll be on the recording. Congrats. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. TSM. Thanks for the follow, Braden. All right. So, I mean, I think this is simple, and if you punch over 178.25, I wouldn't aim for anything less than 183. Sorry. So yeah, over 178.35. Yeah, fuck it. I'd be aiming all the way up there, right around 182.83 and 183.50. You know, I was a big fan of Tesla's. You know, it is important to remember that Elon didn't come up with the concept of Tesla or even the base design. Um, his base, I know that he brought in the Cybertruck designs, but looking at the Chinese EVs, they got us fucking beat, dude. And apparently, if you drive a Tesla in EV in China, it's considered like kind of like trashy, like like lower quality. So I think that's pretty interesting. But I'm not also into worshiping billionaires, you know? Like if he's not gonna slurp me, why would I slurp him? I'm not a you slurper. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. Yeah, I mean even Rivians are fucking sick. So I mean I've driven a Tesla. Yeah, BYDs are awesome. I'm gonna keep this one really simple. You need to get a candle close on the weekly 24-hour at 203.80 for a target of 214. And that stands basically here too. The only difference is you only need 196.35 to break your 24-hour daily range and then get a crack at 202.25. So what you slurping on? I ain't slurping on nothing, dude. You slurping. Taking Zyrtec looks like allergies are affecting. Listen, dude, I sneezed. Ask Bobby. I don't know if Bobby's still on here, but we were playing contractors together, and I fucking sneezed like 5 times in a row. The pollen here, it's not as bad as it was last week, but oh my, it makes your face itch. And then sand gnats just woke up out of their slumber, so they've been fucking us up. It's awesome. So AMAT is in an area of consolidation. It does have a pretty nice spot of empty space up above it, right in there. So 4-hour time frame should explain how this breaks up and how it gets out. So you have a box here, and actually, technically, if you're on a lower time frame, right, even though you're in an area of consolidation, you have a box here. So I would be looking at a 154 4-hour candle close break, and then a move up to 158.75. So I saw you slurp from a can. No, you didn't. Sound like you're allergic to Bob. Name? What do you mean? What's my name? What are you asking, Nick? Nicholas. FedEx to the upside. So the 24-hour doesn't really give me much of anything other than we got a bounce. The weekly doesn't really give me much of anything other than we bounced and we held on to a really specific level of 230, 229.50. And that's positive. Name of the meme? What the fuck are you talking about? All right, let's go to the 2-hour. So right off the bat, I can spot this, and that is where you break to the upside. So 233.50, line in the sand, that's where we go up. right? Candle close, whatever. So the most that I can give you right now is A, you're gonna build a box, or B, you're gonna go and break this and start moving up into the 240 mark. Excuse me, 239.50. Hook, hook. I mean, a lot of what Coke is showing right now is relatively bearish. You are hanging on to that floor, like really hanging on to that floor. So there is a chance that if you've built this box here, that if you can make it above 68.80, you'll move up back up into that empty space. So retest cost basis at 69.50. It's so good. And I think I got any trash. Oh, good thing that's not the right one. Oh my god, the airlines are fucking dumping. Okay, so line in the sand here is going to be a 24-hour candle against 1160. However, 1178. 1178 is the cost basis target above us. So that's what needs to be broken in order to move up. And then you have a 1250 target. This is a really shitty chart. The weekly empty space is cool, but you need a weekly setup and candle close to achieve that. Dell, where's the empty space? There's a target to 103.45 right here, but it's tough not to consider that possibly as a box. So right now, at minimum, you need a candle close on top of $100.50 and a 102.13 punchback. So right now you're in a weird spot. Thank you guys for the follow. I look like I'm in pain. My eye, listen, I can't, I don't know why. It kind of irritates the shit out of me because, like, I'll hop on live and then, yeah, all of a sudden I'll just be fucking exhausted. Yeah, my eyes are getting all fucking droopy. I'm good though. Trying to get all your guys' requests done before I hop off. Huffini, what's up, dude? The difference. Who knows? She don't wanna be safe. I don't want that. All these sleepy ass fucking songs are coming on right now too. Like, wake me up, dude. All right. Good. Gold miners. So listen, if this is all-time highs, is this all-time highs? No, it's not. Because you don't have empty space, I can only place a 4650 target directly up above you, which, fuck, you already hit it. You've literally already hit it. So right now I would be on the 24-hour, and because we're moving in, yeah, I would be looking for that next target of 47, basically. It's not a really good setup there. Um, I'm looking at Carvana this week. NOW looks okay. The what? The I'm mostly watching the Qs this week, so watch me probably make money on the Qs this week. Zoom is operating in a lower channel right now, which I think is possibly a part of a higher one. But the main thing here is that 78.19 is your floor. And so wherever you're at now, whether you take it on a lower time frame, utilizing 77 as a stop loss, but that's what needs to go and break if you're looking up. Otherwise, you're still well entrenched inside of an area of consolidation. So underneath 74, 73, you can go and try for the floor again. What is chart champs? What's chart champs? Hmm. I'll check it out. I'll check it out. Just don't see any empty space on this. So you need a candle outside of 71.70. The first target would only be 75.17. So, and then the volume on this is terrible, dude. So like, yeah, not a huge fan of this one unless it's like for some fundamental reasons. What do I think about the head and shoulders forming on SPY? I think that's fucking poppycock. That's what I think it is, dude. Head and shoulders. You could call this a double top, right? It's a double top. Uh, yeah, I don't see a head and shoulders. You know what's funny is I can that's not a head and shoulders. There are stocks that have made very clear like this was a head and shoulders that didn't work out because most of them don't. Because patterns are mostly bullshit and have an incredibly low return rate and don't offer any way to actually trade them profitably. But that's your typical head and shoulders. And Nvidia has actually done this multiple times where it's created head and shoulders and then ripped up to the outside. So I put no stock in that. I have a system of my own that I created that is, yeah, literally tells me when and where. So, um, uh, would it be best for a beginner to use the 24-hour and buy at the end of the day and sell at the bell? Couldn't have said it better myself. I really, I tell my story about how I made it here and how I lost all my money, and it's a clear description. Like there's like maybe a ego thing that's attached to people's need to day trade, or it's delayed gratification and they don't have the patience to wait. But if I could go back, and eventually I figured this out, if I could go back and tell myself to do one thing, is to stick with the buying at the end of the day and selling in the morning. And I made when I would take 5,000 or 500 and or 200 or $100 and I would take it to 10K. And then when I hit 10K, I thought because I had more capital and I could do stuff. Um, and I market analyst, I can't disagree with you enough, dude, because I'm a statistics and a facts person, and statistically 80% of the market movement is overnight. So it actually speaks directly against day traders, directly against them. While you guys get scraps, we get the whole thing. And so I don't mind, I think if you're new, run the fuck away from all these day trading fucking gurus, bullshit ass gurus sitting there at 1 o'clock trying to place a trade when half the time 1 o'clock is lunchtime and the market's not even moving, and that's the lowest part of the volume or lowest volume in the whole day. But for me, if I could convince everybody of one thing, it would be to do that, to swing trade into the next day and focus on higher time frame setups. And don't do for the next 2 weeks. If you're unprofitable right now, for the next 2 weeks, no day trades. And tell me how that works out for you, right? You can hedge, you can buy a target-based contract, and when you wake up in the morning, it either works or it doesn't, right? So there are going to be people who, temperament-wise, they just do better at day trading. There is a very small fraction of people who just thrive in those high-paced environments. But if you, and this is an important thing to remember, if you're able to identify, especially using my system, if you're able to identify a good setup and say, this looks good, I'm going to take it, then I think, yes, you're going to see the result. So starting with 500, what vehicle options? What is most likely this week? I like Carvana and a couple of other I thought about trying Elf again, but the risk to reward on those high spread stocks just really didn't make a lot of sense to me. But yeah, at the moment I'm watching PLTR. I'm watching the Qs. I'm watching, yeah, Carvana. So I'm stuck between options and futures. What should I focus on? You have to pick what's right for you, man. You, personally, I think that, well, I don't think options give you the opportunity to do more with less, right? With a funded account, like you've got to jump through fucking hoops. I just, if you guys were here with me, I took Peyton's $290 account. I put $215 into the play, and it turned to over $2,000 on Carvana. Really cheap contracts, able to compound and buy. When you're buying 1 and 2 contracts, dude, you're gonna fucking lose. Like you're gonna bleed. So I got you. Yeah, nice, 100%. But yeah, and I know this kind of speaks against everything that brought everybody to the market. But the reality is, the fast-paced day trading shit is only for a select few. And because market statistics offer more overnight, the market's in your favor. So I just think it's one of those things that whenever I realized what I was doing, that I was sabotaging myself from switching from swing trading into day trading, it was like, dude, what am I doing? Like, I'm literally making this money using a strategy and then trying to start a new one when I hit a certain price. It's so stupid. So you think if you would have had consistent position sizing, you wouldn't have blown 10K accounts? No, I would have blown the accounts because I stopped using a strategy. Like I just started trying to scalp. Everything went back to square one. Now, yes, I know how to position myself well, but then I didn't. So I don't have much. So futures might be the move. Well, no, that's what I was saying. Options, you can take a little bit, and yeah. Can I show you where I entered on Carvana? So like I usually do, entered at the end of the day. I looked at Carvana because it basically was inside of a nice area of consolidation. Now it did gamma squeeze, which gamma adds to delta, and delta is tracking the price of the underlying asset. And when an underlying asset has a very low potential of actually going in close or anywhere near the money, gamma can cause a massive squeeze on those contracts. So I bought here at the end of the day on Carvana, and I rode this up to that wick, and then I got out. So how old are you? I'm 32 years old. Can you explain how you managed Carvana at market open? I'd have to go back and look for it. Yeah, so it all just came back to me. So this was a lower time frame basically watching Carvana try to go through this pre-market box over to our left. I again had and I had a box underneath me and above me. So you had a box here, and I had a signal to get out at 176.74. So if it would have punched down below that mark, I would have had to get out. So it bounced, and this is the beautiful thing about using my system is 9 times out of 10 you're going to be where it's supposed to bounce. And so it bounced, moved over your pre-market high at 184.50, and then I just, as soon as it broke through that box, I just kind of kicked my feet back and just tried to let it. Well, I did trim 3 times. So scalping. So here's my proposition, right? To anybody who's learning and new. If I can take $200 and make 2,000, I can do that again. You know what I mean? Like I can take that small amount and I could do that 10 more times, right? If you are using a good system and you know what a good setup looks like, inevitably you will hit one. Jose, yes. That's why I took it. Cost basis inside of the box. You know, I figured there's a good chance, yeah, it broke. So, but yeah, that's the long and short of it. How many hours do you put in a day? Not as much as you would think. I mean, I made the strategy. I used to spend a lot more time. Like when I don't use any indicators, no volume, no nothing. You don't need it. It's trash. I used to spend 14, 15 hours in front of my fucking computer. I went fucking days sometimes sleeping on my floor. Like I had an obsession. Like don't get me wrong. Like I fucking went hard. I didn't sleep sometimes. I was on the West Coast, so you know the market ends at 1, but I was still going all the way until nighttime, and then I would sleep. Wake up at 4 when the market opened. You know it was exhausting. It actually took a toll on my health. But now, so when I wake up in the morning, I don't do this whole like, oh, I gotta chart. Like I wake up in the morning, I know where I'm at on the 24-hour chart. I look at the open on whatever it is that I'm trading or whatever it is that I've swung, or that I'm watching, and I mark out my highs and my lows. I make a decision, lines in the sand. I say that all the time, and so I'll mark those things out. If we're out of range, then I'm looking to probably take a trade. If we're in range, then I'm typically sized down. But sorry. What? Sorry, I just got a notification on. I got a warning on TikTok. You're the only guy on this platform that I've seen other than the dividends guy that is likely legit. I'll take that compliment. Appreciate it. What's your position size per trade? Normal size? About 1,500. In the since January, the most I put into a trade was $3,600. And I trade on a $50,000 account starting every month on the 1st. I pull out whatever the difference is, and that's what I live off of, invest off of, pay fucking taxes off of, dude. Fuck, guys, the amount of taxes that I'm paying this year. Fucking hate capital gains. I get it. I wouldn't feel so bad about paying taxes if I had some voice in where those went, but fuck. What makes me want to help people help people instead of gatekeeping my strategy? Because I was poor like most people out there. I struggled, and I got here by the help of others. So to have people help me put me in a position You know, I worked my ass off to get here, don't get me wrong. But when I was homeless, when I left my home at 17 and then moved to South Carolina with an old teacher of mine who ended up being a fucking weirdo, and I had to go and live on the streets. It was a nice black lady named Miss Newman who, for no reason, she just told me, she's like, I've been here for 30 years and you're the first young man I've ever met that I believe you will go somewhere. And I believe that you really want to get out of here. And she took it upon herself to help me out. And she got me into the best programs and put me in a position to better my life. I fucked it up, but you know, I've always had people who saw something. And so, yeah, for me to do that and then get to this level and then just be a fucking cuck, you know what I mean? Like just keep that shit to myself. And then, and another part of this is I fucking hate, well, I don't actively hate. Like when I see them, I'm like, God, I fucking hate you. But like, I know you, we know, I know a liar when I see one. And all of these fucking, like 95% of the people that I see on TikTok, anywhere else, I dead ass just see scammers. And I see somebody who, so this is how I look at it, right? Anybody here watching, there's 160 of you guys. You are either were or still are very hungry for information, but you're also here because you're looking for guidance, right? Which is a vulnerable place to be. When you're young, when you're old, doesn't matter. You're looking for guidance. And what kind of scumbag fuck decides that that's the perfect opportunity to take someone's fucking money? Here's my thoughts. I'm going to give you everything that I know. I'm going to put it on my YouTube. I'm going to give you the information on live so that hopefully if you don't fucking jump ahead and you don't have issues with, you know, delayed gratification, stuff like that, you can make money. What kind of business gives you the opportunity to make money off of their product so that you have the option to buy it if you want? So yeah, like I feel zero guilt about what I do because it works. I feel there are people here whose lives, like I hate when people say that, like today, like Team Bull kind of ruined that shit, but he was like, you know, we changed lives today. And it's like one person out of the whole Discord made 20 grand. Like 20 grand didn't fucking change your life necessarily. It can help, but 20 grand in this economy, that's a fucking drop in the goddamn bucket. That'll help you get your fucking bills back up. And then before you know it, it's gone. So I've had people proof. I have proof. People have messaged me stories that have fucking brought a goddamn tear to my eye. You know, I wish I was joking. I mean, this is one of my favorite testimonials that I've gotten from White Light. Said, I'm incredibly grateful for the strategy of this group. I'm 44 years old, and nearly 2 years ago, I sold my company with plans to retire. However, I found myself slipping into depression without a sense of purpose. It became clear to me that if you are not growing, you are dying. Before I joined this group, I lost over 200K shooting blindly. However, within just 6 months of being here, I've made over 300K in profit. So he made his money back and 300K more. The strategy has given me a challenge and a goal to work towards, reigniting my drive and my motivation. Which this Discord also is just like, you know, we have so many fucking amazing people. But yeah, you know, like there's people in here who don't even need me anymore. They're independent. They don't ask me for questions anymore. They do it on their own. So like I've said, hey, I can do this. B, I'm trying to teach people, and I've gone out and I've done that. And there's not many, if any, besides the trading initiative. And I'm sure the Put Brothers, he's just, you know, he's fresh on the block. So I'm not sure what his hit rate, you know, but I'm sure that he's moving in that direction. And so, yeah, evidence-based, I haven't seen anybody else fucking offer what I offer and do what I do. Do you post plays you're in? How often? So when I'm on live, I typically disclose when and where I'm going to be getting in something, but I am not a signal group. In fact, if you go to my website, the first thing that is on there, it says we are not a signal group. We build independent traders, and anybody in here watching who wants to follow someone else for the rest of their life, even though who do you know in your real life who made it anywhere by following somebody blindly, right? That doesn't happen, and they know that, and that's why it makes for a good business model, because it keeps you hoping and holding and trying to figure out why it is that you can't win, while they offer you information on how to trade, even though they're supposedly offering you a service that's supposed to let you blindly just take trades. But then when they get a trade wrong, or they don't set a stop loss that fits the script, they'll say, well, you got to manage your risk, and then now it's your fault and not theirs. So yeah. Anyway, I'm done ranting. My Discord is not free. I don't know who the fuck Flo Sidon is. And if he uses Flow, listen, fuck. You know what's so dope, dude? I get in before Flow. Fuck Flow. Market Flow is just another way of like saying I need signals. But like, if Flow comes in and I look at the setup and it looks good, like okay. But like with this system, man, yeah, I haven't looked at Flow in years. And the last couple of years have been the best years. This January, on record, January, February were some of the best trading months of my entire life. I made so much money in January, I could have called it until fucking summer. So is the Oasis group a fraud? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Full of shit. Coming soon. Don't even have their fucking website up. And then they have a Discord where they offer signals. Let's see. Accept as Potter stocks. Yeah, look at the fucking logo. No, that's sorry. Not that the logo has anything to do with it, but yeah, nah, fuck that. Signals, dude. I think signals are just a fucking cheap way to get people into monthly subscriptions to shit that they don't fucking need to be in. Excuse me, like, if you want to learn my system, you're curious, all of it. I do have workshops and shit that you can buy, but I encourage people not to buy anything. If you've just ran into me, go to my YouTube channel. And there is so much. I have had people who decided not to join at all, which for me is a terrible business model, but I don't really give a shit. I make a lot of money trading, so any money made from the Discord is just extra. But at the end of the day, you can go to my playlist and go to the educational breakdowns right here, breakdowns and analysis, and you're gonna find a lot. Look, these videos are not short. 53 minutes, so almost an hour. The Potterbox breakdown is a hour and 51 minutes, same robe. We have hour of 55 minutes with the PBS stock hunt. Potterbox strategy Q&A, 2 hours. So there's a fuck ton of how do you find plays generally. So just an FYI, our Discord is one of the best living scanners that I think has ever existed, because we have a group of people who all are using the same strategy, looking for the same thing, and we all go out and we all look for them. So I am in a privileged position to be the person. I actually enjoy taking people's requests because it gives me the opportunity to also find my own playlist or watch list. If I didn't and wasn't doing that, I would be out looking at myself. But because I do take, I'm not going to lie to you guys, because I take requests and people don't know, I will see the good setup and then I'll say, yeah, that's the one. PLTR, stuff like that. So, I got my brother-in-law, my father-in-law, my sister learning, her sister, they're learning on YouTube. Fuck yeah. If you have the workshop, dude, show it to them. You don't have to, if they have time. If I join premium, do you do trade reviews? What do you mean? Do like look at your trade? If you post your trade, I feel like I'm cheating you, bro. I don't want to do that. You have my permission, man. Listen, if it's your family that lives with you, your kid, you don't have to buy a workshop for each one of them, right? If they make money and they want to join the Discord, cool. I'm not that hard up for money. Don't go selling it. That'll piss me off. But yeah, if you got family or friends near you, like, Why not buy one contract versus multiple? Because it doesn't give you the opportunity to trim. So just to give you an example, I had 15 or 20, I forget, on Peyton's account with Carvana. And so after this punchback and we hit the imbalance, I was able to trim. I was up around 8, 9, I think around 500 or 600%, getting close to 800%, and then trim again. So what this does is it allows for me to actually take profits off the table. And hold on one second. Take profits off the table so that way the trade is free, and then I can actually see where it will pull back, and I leave trail stop boxes on the way. So why do people ignore me? Brother, you don't have that attitude, man. There has been people in here in this stream who have commented their stock like 500 times. So you either are resilient or, but I just saw it. Literally, I mean, dude, if you had to read as many messages as I do right now, you'd understand. I'm not skipping anybody. I'm trying to fucking read. How do you do that with 500? Easy. You use target-based contracts. Yes, you can start with $100. I had $200. $200 in Peyton's trading. Well, $219. It is currently sitting at $2,100. One play. One fucking play. People don't get this. If you're patient, you can make more than what day traders do all week in one day. It's delicious. What if you mark your watch list and none of it moves, but something else is moving during the week? If you can get in, if you can find a setup and someone says, hey, this looks good and it wasn't on your watch list, there's no fucking big brother, that's watching you. So like, yeah, fuck. If you see a good setup, yeah. If you can't take it because it's already gone, then stick to your thing. So do you find you get enough plays to make consistent? I wouldn't be here if I wasn't, Spencer. Some months are better than others. Last year in September, I usually don't discuss dollars, but I only made, I have a $50,000 account. I was at 62 at the end of the month. So I made 12 bands, which, I'm not saying I can't live off of 12 bands. I can. And luckily I have savings and stuff like that. But yeah, that's not impressive for me. January, I doubled my account in like a couple of weeks. So no one believes me. Sorry, buddy. Do you revenge trade? I try my best not to, and I do that by stepping away from my computer. I'm a human, and it's happened, but not recently. And the way that I do that is by stepping away. Just like a video game, dude. When you get pissed off, you rage quit, and you throw your controller down, like, step away. Why do I keep 50K in the account, though? Because that's my base trading. Like, that's what I trade off of, and then every month at the end of the month, I pull that out. So, yeah, I listen, I don't even dare stall on these dumbass comments because I have an audience in front of me who sees it. Should I do the workshop first or join first? You should absolutely do the workshop. Do the workshop. If you have any questions about trading, go either workshop or to my YouTube channel right here. Look at that fucking face right there. God damn. Look at that. Let's zoom in on that. Look at that. This guy's high on drugs. Let's see if I can remake that face. Yeah, that guy's fucked up. Also, just in case anybody is wondering, it's not like I'm saying this and it's not all the fuck like in you today 471 876%, right? Those contracts cost $3 and he sold them at 16. He had 100 of them, right? Newbie trying his hand at this strategy. I don't see what the percentage is, but it looks like you made about $1,500. Yeah, you're rarely ever going to see anything under 100% here. Look at that, 400%. It just makes me happy, dude. To go out, say you're gonna do. Look at this. Look at these fucking Verizon. The Potter box strategy. Do you have a strategy on how you size into plays, or do you percentage based on your total percentage most of the time? Hey, sure. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm not going to ban you or anything, but I'm sorry that you either A, have been scammed, B, tried to trade and you fucking sucked at it. And so now you're taking all that shit out on me. And I totally believe you, right? Like, I get it. You're scrolling through TikTok and every single one of these motherfuckers is promising a bunch of bullshit. I don't want you to buy my Discord. I don't want you to join my shit. My shit is only there if you've basically made money. All the information you need is on my fucking YouTube channel. So, mind you, we are the only fucking people, and the only fucking people besides TTI and Put Brothers that are pumping out these kind of gains. Just period. End of story. You can never take that away from me, and I don't care what one random little fuck on TikTok says. Or anybody else says. This is something I'll be able to fucking die saying, that I fucking created something that works. That works. Or, you know, if they changed it up, worked. But, dude, I'm making money right now. So I could care less. I really could care less. But I can tell you this. That's not even APP. I like a good APP play. Oh, shit. APP. Got me wanting to switch sides here. Who wants to ride APP? So you're right now tugging at the floor. Pause. All right, got to stop. 316.65. I see cross basis above you. So if you're new here, you've never seen my fucking strategy. I find areas of consolidation using extended hours on the 24-hour time frame and down, and target areas of empty space that look like this, right? Little to no resistance. Or in other words, I trade like a monkey from box to box. That's it. I trade box to box and typically will file for a trim around the imbalance mark, which in this case would be 361. So APP, either A, being that this is the third time that you're up against this, needs to go and break up, right? And that would be something we'd hopefully see this upcoming week. And if that 50% mark is broken, you are guaranteed a new high, and I would be aiming exactly for that imbalance around 365, 363. So, sure, you can struggle all you want and squirm inside of here, but I know you're sitting on your couch, maybe on the toilet, right? And you're mad, dude. Don't let somebody on the internet make you mad, dude. Scroll away. Scroll away. Watch this, dude. Check this out. Close your eyes. Do this with your thumb. Watch me. And just scroll away. And then watch this. All your problems will go away. Sorry. Oh, I was about to sneeze. Is ICT a scammer? I don't know. Does he have a son? Is he going to go to the Robbins Cups and win? If you created a strategy, like I would love to go to a trading competition, but first of all, if you've created something and you apparently are the fucking shit with it, and then you say I'm going to go to the Robbins Cup and I'm going to win, and then every year you fucking blow your account, yeah. Just think it's stupid. It's like, okay, you found a bunch of words to describe a bunch of things inside of the market, but putting them all together really fucks people up. All right. Apple looking decent. Retest of 215, 216, then move to 223, 25. Thank me later. Here, I'll chart it and I'll tell you what it is. Let's see. What are your price targets? 223. Why would you shut the door at 223? Oh, because you want to get it. You want to 223. What the fuck? That's the most random fucking number. 223. That's an imbalance. You're selling yourself short. If anybody just acknowledged that analysis right there, I would say no. A, you need to get above this floor right here. You have 2 taps off of it. You need to get that floor, and then you need to go to cost basis. Cost basis is 220.15. If the candle closes outside of 222, I would not aim for 223, and I would aim for an easy target trading box to box, 224.50 and 226.16. It is pre-recorded. I will be doing a live workshop soon. All right. What else do we have? Are you commenting Dame? That's not a thing. Could you elaborate on the differences between the workshop and your YouTube videos? YouTube video is going to have me answering questions about all sorts of different things. And so the information is there. It's going to be a little scattered. If you take the workshop, it's going to be in chronological order and, working down. And I did that class 3 times, and you get all 3 recordings, which, I have different questions, different approaches. So it should help. Workshop is actually worth it. That's what I hear, man. I've never taken it. About to put my wave cap on, dude. Ooh. Cam, did you do the YouTube before the workshop? I don't know, Cam, did you? Is 3 taps on the 24 a solid signal most of the time? Most of the time, yes, it is. Does technical even apply to Tesla here? Yeah. Why wouldn't technical? Yeah, Tesla has literally been running off of pure technicals. Absolutely. Yeah. In fact, this actually goes hand in hand with everything that I teach. So we talked about a couple of things, right? A, this dump started when you created a box. Excuse me. You dipped out of the box, which whenever you break out of a box, the goal is to never fall back in it. You fall back, hover around cost basis, and then you break. Now, we again trade empty space. From here to here is empty. Now, underneath you, there's a gap. That gap closes here, and this is your box. So you punch down, fill the gap, pop back up, go wick to wick, right? Look, wick to wick. You retest it, you're unable to grab that floor, and thus fall even further. You blow through this floor here. You literally blow through it and retest it. And then again, we emphasize empty space. And that's exactly where you tap. And then I would expect that is exactly where you are going to retest this next week. So yeah, pure technicals. In fact, just to even double down on that, see that little dumbass little area of fucking bullshit price action right here? And then the empty space in here? Have a look. That's exactly where you fill. Oh, dude, I have hat hair hat hair today. So bad. Why don't you trade futures, ES and Q? Man, I make, guys, I mean, I make, you know, uh, I make enough money on options that, I mean, and I'm going to emphasize this too. I put a lot of money into QYLD. I put a lot of money into things that are going to pay me out. But not to mention, not only that, trading, surprisingly, is not my life. Like, I don't want to do more of it. I started this for freedom, to be able to choose what I want to do when I want to do it and invest in the things that I want to invest in. So with options, I am able to do that. But the time that, like, even this time, if I'm not doing this or, relaxing, I'm with my kids, I'm with my wife. I'm literally doing what people would want to do if they had the money to do it. So like I am embracing freedom by not indulging in even more. Because I've done crypto. I've done all that. It just does. It's like there's too much. And then not to mention, funded accounts, and I wouldn't have to do a funded account, but like knowing what's involved if you don't, the risk is higher there. Like I'm happy where I'm at. Futures don't interest me. Crypto does interest me. That's like saying, why don't you start every kind of business? I'm really good at options. I think what really, really gets me is that, yes, I have to be more patient, but if I'm patient, I can take, 15, dude, I've had $1,500 turn literally be upwards over 19 grand overnight. 19 grand in my fucking hands, and then I walk the fuck away. And I think that's why I'm profitable and why I have been here and stayed here and been able, like, I don't, like, bear market comes, I don't falter. I don't, we stick to what works exactly and focus on that. So have you gotten out of control before and mad, like in my life? Yes, dude, absolutely. I have lost my ever fucking living mind. You think normal people create strategies? No shit. So final question: if I'm learning the workshop, should I do options since that's what you do? Listen, I can't tell you that. That is literally financial advice. So I can't tell you what to do, but I'm going to tell you this: if you don't have a lot of money, you can use a little bit of that little money and make enough money. What's my favorite strategy? My strategy that I created. So my favorite way that my strategy sets up is, that's why I use Mara as an example all the time, guys, because this is borderline sexual healing, like financial sexual healing right here. The feelings this chart gives me should never be spoken about. No. So literally, you have a box underneath, you have a box above. You lose the box, you bounce off the box underneath, you give a clear signal when you reclaim the floor. You identify that there's nothing up above you except for structure on the floor here. And so you are literally looking for that 50% mark to break. It screams over the 50% mark. So you're able to add more, use 1905 as a stop loss, and let that motherfucker rip. Your patience is unmatched. Really? I'm guessing I'll need to learn options before I purchase the workshop. I mean, I teach options in the workshop. Just go to the YouTube channel, and start writing down the things that don't make sense to you. So I did do AMD, yes. So, and before I go, I said this at the beginning, but I want to reiterate this just really quickly. Everybody, if you are struggling with trading, if you really are tired of fucking losing and you want to win, and not because you just want to win, but because you need money, or that's what we're all here for. We're trying to make money. If you are day trading and you are losing that money, right? I'm going to show you something that hopefully can maybe convince you to look the other way, right? And focus on statistics, right? The statistics say that 80% of market movement is overnight. So how are you day trading that, right? How are you day trading that? You can't, right? Maybe futures, some people on futures can do that, but you can't. So I'm going to show you guys, right? This is a swing trade that we took, right? Based on the fact that this candle held this floor, right? It wasn't necessarily a box setup, even though there was a box directly up above us that we were targeting to give us a punchback, right? We came back down and retested that several times. So 24-hour, right? Big push up. That's a big ass fucking candle, right? Now take away the time. That's your candle. That's what you're left with. Look at these gaps. Look, gap up, doji. Gap up, tiny. Take that away, that's what you get. Big green candle. Big green. It is there it is. There it is. I don't know. To me, it just makes perfect sense, right? Statistics say no. The market showing you how much it moves overnight says no. You take away all of the extended hours, and all of a sudden your market becomes, a little bit more volatile as of recently. But when you see some of these moves up, especially in a market where there's uncertainty, that overnight movement is what really drives price. So that's one, right? We just get more market movement. And not to mention, you zoom down and you go to the hourly, right? Go to the hourly over here. Look at that candle. So we got that. We open up. We take profit. You get to deal with this for the rest of your life. This next day, trash. You're missing out. You're missing out. And I'm telling you guys that and I know this, I just saw like 20 people leave when I said that, which doesn't hurt me at all. It literally just shows that like some people, even though there's a door that's wide open in front of them, will walk past that door because they're convinced that another one has something bigger and better. But the proof is in front of you. Ton of day traders constantly losing. So if you're looking to take that next step forward, try 2 weeks starting this week. Only 24-hour higher time frame setups, candle closes, focusing on the end of the day, 3:30 to 4 o'clock, and taking your contracts then. Say all that again. Shut up. Yeah, but it's a 50-50 chance. Are you talking about swing trading, man? It's not. It's not, man. I'm telling you, dude. The market is mechanical. And I spend the majority of my time trying to convince others of the same. The market is mechanical. I know that the market moves a certain way in a certain space. You dump fast, you rip fast. So I target the empty space, right? That's it. I mean, and that's a simple concept that I've integrated into my trading that's made a huge difference. So you're saying wait till the end of the day and then wait for liquidity zone to be broken? Area of consolidation, liquidity zone, whatever you're looking for. Yes, you're looking for a candle close outside of it, right? Or a candle close up against it. So for example, if I wanted to take SPY long, I would need to see a green candle closing up against 568.75. Or I would need to be on a lower time frame, perhaps the 4-hour, and see a 4-hour candle close outside of that. Now, as I move down, because the market is filled with fractals, which means that what happens above happens below, right? So if I can say that a 24-hour box like this is successfully punched through, that it's going to fill up the empty space over here, targeting the first green candle to my left, right here, and that's exactly what the fuck we hit, right? Empty space, filled, tap, and that has now become your overall resistance. So what's in front of me? Another box, right? And this is on the hourly. So inside of that box, I want to take that trade, but sometimes this shit happens during the day. How do you take it? You move down, you look for the same thing you saw on the higher time frame, but smaller and inside of that box, right? Or outside of that box, or wherever it is that you're planning on taking that trade. So we're looking for a 566.65 punch over. And then I'm telling you this right now, SPY will go and SPY will hit, SPY will hit the 574 mark upon a break out of 569.40. I know this. And I'm not saying that to be cocky. I'm saying that because I've literally I built a whole strategy around it. Right? If it goes up and rejects cost basis and comes back down and breaks below 599.12, there's no question in my mind. You're going to be at 554.27. And I have hundreds of people who watch this happen and they are doing it on their own. You know? And it results in plays that, in percentages, we make thousands of percentages. And some people, like that dude who was in there earlier, just cannot believe it. I don't give a fuck. I don't care what you want to believe or what you don't want to believe. I'm telling you this is real, and most of the people say, fuck that, dude, you're a scammer. Cool. Fine. I'm trying to share it. So if you're not receptive, or in a market like this, people get attached to strategies like they're fucking parents or like a girlfriend or something. Like they won't acknowledge or hear anything else. Even though they're not profitable, even though they're struggling. So, all right. Am I done ranting now? I feel like I'm done ranting. I felt good. So good. Yeah, I'm just scrolling through these gains and it's just diabolical, man. Like I could close my eyes right now, like not look. I'm looking away from my screen and just keep scrolling. You see how fast that shit's scrolling? Just keep scrolling. And when I stop, whenever it is I stop, it will be more huge, large percentage gains. Here you go. 283%. This one doesn't say. Look at these percentages all collectively. Like, look, 225%, 165%, 337%, so you're repeatedly doing the same thing, and then people have the audacity to say that I'm a scammer. Look at this right here. Look at that. Almost 7 bands, 343%. And then somebody wants to ask me why I don't use indicators. You wouldn't either if you were doing this shit. Look at this. You ever seen some shit like that? Did you hop in a PP? I was going to hop on one. The best trading time, well, that's a weird question because the best place to identify high probability setups is on higher time frames. Exactly, Cam. Higher time frame, higher reward. But higher time frame, more waiting, which most people don't like to admit or to accept, but that is the truth. You will have to wait. And you're seeing it now after 9 days of excruciating in-range price action. So I don't use those, Drew. So I'll tell you how I calculated or made the prediction that SPY was going to be bearish, right? And it has nothing to do with, I don't give a fuck about liquidity zones. I don't care about any ICT concepts at all. Here's how I know, right? It's a simple story, right? You spend from January to mid-February making over 3 attempts to go and break all-time highs, right? And punch back, essentially. You do. And then when you do, because you don't want to ever fall back into an area where you just spent a fuck ton of time breaking out, you make 4 candles that can't even go and explode, right? Whenever we're in a buyer's market, we want to see that price keep going until something else slows us down or momentum slows us down. So you spent that much time creating that much tension. Double top? No, that's not a double top, dude. Where's the double top? Those are 2 not equal tops. Don't start with me. But seriously, you spend all of that time, then you get 1, 2, 3, 4 opportunities, and this red candle right here screws you. Because that red candle is unable to go, after pulling itself all the way the fuck back up, fails to go and make a new high or even surpass the previous day's green candle bottom, which is 611.75, and the next day you fucking waterfall. Now, that cost basis right here, the market's bearish for me, right? Same thing on the Qs. I don't care if people don't agree with me. This is how I understand the market, and it is working, clearly. So anybody who argues with me about this shit, are you making 1,000% on your trades? Nope. Cool. So again, large area of consolidation identifiable on the weekly, which also, not to mention, if you have a weekly box, it's just amplified even more. So you break out, you get a candle close, and where you need momentum after all of this tension, right? Contraction, expansion, you fail. So you move back after 4 candles outside of a box. Once price closes underneath it, you got to go to cost basis. And if cost basis doesn't bounce, that volume that's held within the median of any area of consolidation is lost, and therefore we have fallen. And we've done this now multiple times. Bud, I do not agree with you. Listen, 1,000% trades agree with me. I don't care. So here's what I don't care about. I don't care how other people interpret the market. When I listen to ICT traders, it's diabolical. They've got like 500 fucking definitions and different words for different things that, like, it's just an information overload, and then they have analysis paralysis, and then they fail on all of their fucking trades. Not to mention there's a website of somebody who went and actually back-tested options, back-tested patterns. So I'm a statistics guy. Facts. I don't want opinions because this is not an opinion-based place. I want fucking facts. It is a fact that bull flags 1 year in the 90s returned like 800% against the S&P. And then after that has yet to fucking ever, like, it has negative percentages or negative returns year after year. Same thing with bear markets. Same thing with Head and Shoulders. One of the highest performing, and this is actually good for you guys to know, one of the highest performing patterns is actually an inverse Head and Shoulders at a market bottom. And I actually recognize those because, again, statistics. If you can't prove it, it's just your fucking opinion. It's just that simple. And so, and I can feel this way because I make 1,000% on my trades, and I make a lot of money with a little bit of money, and I do it consistently, and I live off of this shit, and I'm doing something that most people have not yet to do consistently. So, I mean, again, it's not something that I would go and tell anybody else, because at the end of the day, like, yeah, I make a lot of money, but I'm also looking at fucking funny lines on a chart. Like, this isn't like ego tripping for anybody's recognition outside of trading, because nobody gives a fuck. If I tell somebody in real life that doesn't know about trading that I've invented a trading strategy, they don't give a shit. Do I use RSI, MACD, or do you only use your box of structure? I use no indicators. I use no news. I use nothing but boxes, dude. I'm a kindergartner. It's a 50% line, yes. So my trading strategy is called the PBS trading strategy, or Potter box strategy. How do I know when to enter a trade? I'm explaining that right now. And if you go to my YouTube, you can see it even further. And I'll quickly explain that to you now. So right now, right, I have an area of consolidation here. So the 50% has been broken. So I would use, if I was looking to get into a trade, I use the top of structure. And again, you have to be able to use the 24-hour time frame with extended hours, or you won't see the same shit that I see. Again, point in case, right? Totally different. So I use pre-market. So I would use the 484 top to set a stop loss, or if you can come back down, right? And I know this seems obscure, but it's actually orb, well, kind of orb. So if we gap up overnight and pull, like, say we gap up like right here, normally you're going to pull back. And when you pull back, you're probably going to go hit 479.78. That would give you an opportunity to actually use that very same structure that you've created here and punch back up. So anytime who did I learn the Potter box from? I'm Potter. Me. But what is the lowest time frame that you use for a trade? So that's a great question. For a trade setup, I am using higher time frames. Now trade management, I've gone as far as the 45 second. So how do I pick my options? I pick my options by using target-based contracts. So let me give you an example of that right here, right? I love how chart requests sessions turn into Q&As always. So I'm going to give you an example right now. You ready? So right here, right? That's a gap. And whenever we're breaking out of structure, we're aiming for the first green candle to our left. And that's the candle close. And so right here, I see a gap and a candle close at 490. So now I've identified, yeah, I know, right, Franny? Now I've identified my target. So typically 9 times out of 10, I'm going to actually buy the target-based contract. There you go, metal and graphite. Are you still in Team Bull? Oh my God. That's master trolling right there. Good job, DNAG. That was fire. Am I live on trading Discord every day during trade? Not all day, but every day, yes. For the most part. Where's Tori? Yeah. Yeah, Put Brothers learned it from me. But yeah, he's if you don't think that the Put Brothers is going to be better than I am, does Team Bull still exist? I don't know, bro, but you should go watch his lives because they are so fucking funny. He just sits there like this. He didn't even talk. He just fucking stares at the chart. Bro's depressed. I know his peak was going to his high school to fucking tell off his high school teachers that told him that he wasn't going to make it because he was selling drugs. So weird. Do I like the Put Brothers? Yeah, no, he's great, man. The Put Brothers. What I was gonna say, if you don't think that kid's gonna be better than me, he's gonna be fucking better than me. He's starting younger, you know. I mean, I would hope so. He's starting younger and he's doing well. Is a bear flag or higher? Is this a bear flag or higher lows? So I don't interpret it as a bear flag. If anything, I interpret it as a beautiful channel. Wow. And so where's the do-rag at? Right here, bitch. Sorry. Sorry, YouTube. We ragged up. See, I don't have long hair anymore, man. So now I just look Jewish or something. The mitzvah. Yeah, he's Ruck. Get the fuck out of here, dog. You almost made me say it, dude. When you feel FOMO when you are waiting for a candle to close above your line but price keeps moving? No, because I use lower time frame structure to get into my trades. So, yeah. It says he doesn't use flags. I thought that said something else. I should move my fucking screen closer to my goddamn eyes. There we go. All right. Hold on one second. So really quickly, we are I'm gonna finish this up with a couple of chart requests. A bunch of people missed the 40% off. I'm not doing this is not for new people. You shouldn't even be interested in this. We'll do it another time. But if you did miss it, DM me when this is done and we'll get you in there. If you're new here, I thoroughly encourage you. Again, don't have FOMO. You're fine. We'll do it again another time. But go to my YouTube channel, stay in these lives, go in the free Discord, ask lots of questions, tag other people, talk to the people that are in there who have been in my Discord, who are currently in my Discord. Ask them as many questions as you want. I'm not one of those people who wants you to not talk to people like Coach CWC from American Dream Trading, who's a piece of shit. But that is something that you can do in the meantime. And I promise you, if you focus and you stay in these lives, there's been a lot of people who have made the money to join when they wanted to join or made the money to make that decision. Because again, our Discord is not a signal Discord. It is absolutely meant for you to become an independent trader. So if that's not something that you're interested in doing, get out of here. But if I'm waiting for the 1 hour candle to close, then lower time frame could be a fake out. Well, that's unfortunately the way the cookie crumbles. But let me hit you with this one, Radel. So in my strategy, not the workshop, just lifetime and yearly. In my strategy, I use structure always. And that goes into basically boxes, right? So let's say that I wanted to get into the QQQ here because of the empty space over here on the 15-minute. And again, the strategy works for every single time frame, right? So I wanted to take advantage of that empty space. Now, at the moment, if we're in here pushing up and out, my choice is limited, right? There is, or rather comes a point where you don't have a choice. If you are trying to get into a higher time frame trade and you have a lower time frame box, you got to use the top of that structure, right? And if you need more detail, go to the 5. So you could confidently place a stop loss on 479.69 5-minute candle close. And then what you could also do, right, because you did build a box here at the end of the day, and this will be relevant, so make sure you pay attention to this on Monday, because this box, and if, listen, I can tell, listen, yeah, sorry, autism. If you break down under 480.80, you will go down. Period. End of story. If you go down, where do you bounce first? The top of the box, right? And that'd be 479.90. And when that bounces, and this is important, the way that you fall, if you fall fast, big candle, just like you ripped, then your chances of bouncing increase, because that price movement is unsustainable and the market looks to go and fill it. So you pull back under the floor, you'll fill up that empty space, and if it happens quickly, you have a chance to bounce up. So, not gonna lie, I don't know the difference between futures and options. Take the time to learn it, man. Options are derivatives of stocks, and futures are derivatives of futures. Am I playing calls this week? No. Well, sorry, I'm autopilot right now. There's a possibility, yes. So right now, just as a definitive statement, is a good thing to close this this live on. A definitive statement here as far as price targets are concerned and upwards movement. On the 4-hour, we are looking for a 4-hour candle close outside of 483. If that occurs, I will be targeting nothing less than 490. So yes, sure. If you, via lower time frame compression, right, because you're heading up and you have a downtrend, which is thus compressing this price, if that occurs and price moves up, which I don't know if it will, but if it moves up and then comes back down, that will mark your 1, 2, 3, third rejection at the top, where then you only have 1, 2 off the bottom. And according to wave theory, which I have incorporated into my trading strategy to a degree, I would be looking for a breakdown, and there you would be actually looking for a floor, but not just the floor, you would be looking for a new low. So 490 by Monday is a little difficult. Not by Monday. I'm not, shit, I don't know about, look, starting on Monday, March 10th, you start at 488 and you end the day at 467. So listen, the thing that keeps me from being scared is knowing that my stop loss is in an area, right? So we have these signals across the market using boxes. Use them, right? Use them. So let's say you took a swing trade on the QQQ and you did it by bouncing. Maybe you took it here, right? Let's get rid of all this shit. You took the Qs here, right? However that worked out, you took it there. There's actually a lower time frame box right there. So let's say you took the Qs off that punchback. First of all, if you took it off that punchback, your stop loss is protected there. But not only that, this box, right? So if you took the Qs, theoretically, right, if it drops down and closes under 479.80, you'd be looking to get out of your trade if the candle closes underneath or if you continue pushing down. But you don't want that. You don't want to lose all these gains that you've made. So how do I get the signal when this drops, right? And that's what I'm explaining to you. The market is a fractal. So if I can move down and I can find an area of consolidation, cost basis is 481.22. So if 481.22 is punched down and there's nothing but empty space underneath me, I know that we're gonna fall. Period. So I usually tell people to DCA. I adamantly tell people to run from DCAing. I don't think that profitability lies in shotgun blasting the market. I actually highly disagree. I froze. Am I frozen? I highly disagree with DCA. I made some of my best equity purchases like on ELF. I did ELF by using the 24-hour boxes and weekly area of consolidation. I actually got ELF in this earnings call right here, right near the top of the box. I noticed that right before the earnings came, you started closing on your channel. You had a nice downtrend right here. And of course, I did look at Alta as kind of like a big brother, and that actually set me up. And then if you go and you look, I set my stop loss on the top of the box. You come down, you tap the fucking top of the box like 5 times, and then we rocket all the way to 219. So using this strategy allows you to be in an area where you know where something breaks down, right? Or, for example, PLTR. Now, I did get PLTR recommended to me by one of my good friends, and then did a bunch of research myself on it, but it's the same theory, right? Box, right? Now, I will take into consideration this thing did pop up and out, but I would use, or, theoretically, you could use that top of the box. For me, right? We bought in the $8 range. So my stop loss had to be the floor. After that big bounce, I bought equity. And I said, if it falls underneath 738, I know that it will fall and I know that I need to get out and I'll rebuy. So I use structure because here's my thing. I don't do fundamental analysis because there's about a billion other motherfuckers who do, right? And they all disagree with one another and they all come to different conclusions. And some of them are professionals and some of them have YouTube channels and some of them are fucking Joe from wherever, right? But they all, there's hardly ever, like, oh yeah, this is it, And usually when you come to that conclusion, the stock is already ripped. So structure, because again, institutions and banks know the information months and months before we do. So, all right. A lot of people wait for a retest of the structure to enter. No, I don't. I don't always wait for the retest. No. Yeah, no, I don't. Because if I am within that structure, typically that retest will retest off of me, off of my entry. So QQQ to the upside. As of right now, I am leaning to a possible bear market rally, right? We have the conditions to do so. But when we are, and this is something that I just explained this week, because a lot of people lost money this week, and I did not. And I hope a lot of people, now I know a lot of people in the Discord actually were able to save themselves. When we're in range, that is the one place I do not trade. If the candle opens up inside of one another, I just don't. I'll speculate on certain trades, but if you're opening up in the same range that you were before, I don't fuck with it. But if this thing, so at some point, again, contraction, expansion, right? So we can go back and just come to a simple conclusion that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Expansion, right? Same thing here. Contraction, expansion, right? Contraction, expansion, contraction, expansion, right? It's the same thing over and over and over again, right? Contraction, expansion, contraction, expansion. I like PLTR though. See, Tally Griff, you know what's beautiful though is I don't ever. So let me really quickly, and then we're gonna go ahead and start shutting this thing down. So a while ago, somebody, you know, a long while ago, I remember somebody brought up the fact that, yeah, the area of or Nvidia had a Head and Shoulders. So I'm going to show you guys really quickly, and then I'm going to go ahead and hop off, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning, and we'll see if we can't fucking extract some dang gains out of this fucking market. I use the box, right? So your strategy very similar to the Darvis box. It does have similarities, but if you go and actually look into it, there's a little difference, right? The punchback doesn't exist within the Darvis box, but I also don't know if anybody knows this, but Darvis actually never made any money. I don't think he finished, right? He could have made the Potter box before I did, but I don't think that he finished his. Yes, these are being recorded. This will be uploaded on YouTube on the Potter Stocks trading channel. Look at that guy. So, but Darvis was actually broke. He never made any money. He lived the majority of his life broke. I'm on the East Coast. Wait, someone else came up with this with strat? No. Darvis had a similar strat, but the one thing that the 50 like punchbacks, like, so what I was just saying is Nvidia, if I wanted to take this short because I believe this has a Head and Shoulders, then I would take it through the punch down below 38.78, and it has empty space underneath it. But I want to, bruh, listen, I fucking laugh. I laugh sometimes, even though it's sad. Look at this. First green candle to my left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sellers have a job to do. They get wicked down. They give them what they want for just a second. Every retail trader in the world chases that down because it was a big red candle. And then the next day they rip your ass wide the fuck open, no jelly. And then they keep ripping it because you don't have anything to stop you until you get here. And when you do get here, you close directly up against it, showing that buyers are willing to accept that price as well. And guess what? That's a box. And that box gets punched through. And you keep ripping. And they just ripped everybody who thought this was a Head and Shoulders. So even if I did think it was a bear flag, or I thought it was this, like, first of all, I don't want the market giving me a bias that comes from a pattern, right? I'm not bullish because there's a bear flag. Like, let me give you a great example on the Qs right now, right? Instead of coming up with a fucking bear flag or a bull flag or something like this, we could just come to a conclusion and say, once you break down underneath that which you had to struggle to get above, which happens to be here, but not only did you struggled so much that you made a box and used this resistance as cost basis. You can see how many times you bounced off of it, and just guess where we can't get above. So we are stuck underneath a sell wall, and if we pop up above it, we will go up. That's it. That's it. You're stuck underneath the level that you tried to break out from. And so if you want to go up, you got to get back above it. It'd be the same thing that I would have said here. You spend all that time trying to break out above 531, 532, and then you spend 4 days whacking your wiener above that, and then you finally fall. Sorry, guys, I'm a little vulgar. But then you close a candle underneath it. Dumpy. So right now, SPY and the Qs are all deciding whether this is a retest, which right now sellers are doing a terrible job. And so momentum and sentiment would need to keep us underneath 484. But I mark my motherfucking words, when it gets above it, 490. Sure, you could say that it's a bear flag, but what do you get out of that? Right? What do you get out of it? And what does that bear flag tell you? Does it tell you how far you're going to go? Does it tell you where to set a stop loss? Does it tell you when it's going to happen? That's the difference, right? Is I can tell you when this is going to happen, right? And I'll show you right now. You ready? Box hourly here, when the Qs break down under 469.23, I am of the utmost confidence that that is where we will fall. Simple as that. I also know that we'll go to that target upon a candle close under 473.50. Simple support and resistance type shit. But I know this, right? And so in between the two, hands off. I do trade live here, but don't expect what you see from other people. If I see a setup on a lower time frame, I'll take it. But most of the time, the action is at the end of the day. All right. From 484 to 490 is such a small move percentage-wise. Why is that so significant? No. So, and I'm not going to do these calculations right now. Now, it is a small move maybe price-wise, but option-wise, right? The 490 strikes closing on Friday, listen to this, are $10, which is what I bought. $10. The contracts sitting outside of the money are currently at the 481 price, are sitting at $220. That's a pretty fucking high percentage if you ask me. I believe that's 2,000%. I'm not a mathematician, but that's a lot. So just with rough calculations, right? If I hit my target and I buy my target-based contract, 1, I don't have to buy that much. 2, I can buy a lot, right? They're $10. I can buy 10 for 100 or 20 for 200. And that's what most people will buy one contract with. If I hit 2, 3, 4, 500%, the expiration's the day. Okay, so this is going to be hard for a lot of people to understand. If you open up, if we break out on the hourly above 485.25, period, end of story, you will move fast. So if I know that a certain anomaly will happen inside of an area with little to no volume, and that's literally what I've built my strategy around, is filling up areas of no resistance or little resistance, right? The same thing that, I'm just thinking of any play that we've taken. A long time ago, I took ANF, right? And this happened to be on a Friday. I took it on a Friday going all the way to the next fucking Friday. I held one contract on Thursday, and then the next Friday it dumped because of pedophilia news. But this is a great example. This is, guys, simplify it, right? I'm saying a lot of things right now, and it's simplicity that will help. It is a big-ass box, right? What happens to contracts when in the money? I feel like you're trying to define my strategy as something else. Like, you're not going to take this away from me. I don't understand. Like, you're trying to convince me. What am I going to change my mind now after all this money? Sorry, dude. What happens to contracts when the stock does not move at all? What happens to the contracts when the stocks do not move at all? They get cheaper. Going 25 days out, they start decreasing. Max pain, theta decay, right? So I look for these areas of consolidation and I target areas of empty space above them. And I do this because I understand that empty space offers little to no resistance. So if I have contracts cooking and getting cheaper in here, but it doesn't change the fact that when you get above an area of resistance you've been struggling with from September till October, candle close outside of it, I take my trade on a Friday afternoon. I enjoy my fucking weekend. It ripped up above where I took it. And then the following day, imbalance gets hit, which is the 50% mark of any area of empty space. And then it closes up against it. So I hold. And then the next day on Wednesday, I start trimming as we approach our target. We don't get all the way to our target. Wednesday, we hit our target. Thursday, we tap cost basis. And then, oh my God, the CEO's a pedophile. Beautiful release of news. And then it dumps right back down in the same fashion that it ripped back up. Really fast, really fast, really fast, really fast. So if I know that stocks move really fast, right? Here, let me give you another example. They move really fast through areas of empty space. If they are massive areas of empty space, you'll take a little break and you'll stop at the 50% mark, which is here, 50%. But what got us into that play? A box and a box. And then we can tell a story, right? You're a seller. You're selling here. You're selling there. You're trying to drive price down lower. The box and the bottom floor breaks. You wick down. Remember I said that on Nvidia? They give sellers what they want for just a moment. Then they jack their fucking underwear over their head, break through cost basis, and as soon as you close up against it and sellers do not step up, Nike punches through the fucking 50% mark and you rip absolute dick, which is a technical term, okay? Ben, I'm working on it, man. I've tried to, you know what? As I sat down and tried to teach AI my strategy and ended up getting in an argument with it. And then I ended up winning that argument, which was, I'm not going to lie, that felt really good. I was like, yeah, fuck you, technology. Where do you find these cheap calls? Well, imagine if a stock is not moving from July till August, any contracts up here and down here are losing value, right? So when we get to the break, people aren't buying contracts there. And so that's where we make our move. And this is Starbucks. This is, oops, what the fuck is happening here? Yeah, like Starbucks on the upside. Listen, Starbucks on the upside will be dope. Disney on the upside, cheap contracts. You only have you have a little play from 101 up to 103.75. But that'll be a good play, and that'll be relatively cheap. And then there's also stocks. I just ripped Tesla a whole new ass because on Thursday, the contracts were incredible. So what I'm trying to emphasize here is the contract expiration is not relevant to the setup. If the setup has empty space and no resistance above it, then I can buy those weekly contracts for cheap, for the low, which means I don't have to put forward so much risk, which keeps me safe, but also allows me, if that target gets hit, to make a lot of money. That's called low risk, high reward. I think my daughter just fell down the stairs. Hold on. You good? She did not fall down the stairs. She threw a fucking ruler at her brother down the stairs. I don't think she threw it on purpose. Damn. Whose kids are these? All right. Well, I feel like this was a good live. I did a lot more than take requests. So tomorrow morning, we will do the same thing. We will take some more requests. So tonight, go through your charts, look for empty space, look for those examples that I showed you. These are odd times to be trading in, but structure stays the same. It has not failed me yet. So I encourage those of you guys again who who are struggling or day trading is fucking you up. Try the swing trading thing. 2 weeks. Give it a shot. What is my win rate? I don't really track my win rate, but I can tell you this. If you have or you're using my system with good risk management, you could lose 60% of your trades and still pull money out of your trading account. Win rate is bullshit. Win rate is a great way to sell memberships. Win rate is a great way to lie to people. because I could have a 90% win rate, but I take tiny fucking baby trades with a lot of risk. Stupid, right? Because the days where it doesn't work, I'm getting fucking hammered. And you can't see that, but you see a nice win rate, right? Fuck a win rate. You could win 100% of the time, right? And not make a lot of money. I know, so I've seen it. I've seen people with 90, 95, 100% win rates for like 2 or 3 months straight, and they are making pennies on the dollar. Just tiny little fucking, or pennies on the dollar, but you know, they're making little to nothing, $200-300 gains. When I'm taking $200 and I'm putting it into a trade and turning it into 2,000, which I did last week on my wife's account. So, for those of you guys who missed the 40% off, shoot me a DM on here or in Discord, and I will send you the code. If you're new, maybe refrain from doing that. Wait for the next time. I am not a signal chat. I'm not here to offer you any signals. I also do not message people from any other. I don't message people. So like, I'm not going to reach out to you, and I'm not going to offer any crypto programs, any sort of bullshit like that. Copy trading, none of it. I don't do that. So please do not get scammed. But that was on Canva. Yes. I know. I almost said fiance. But anyway, you guys have a wonderful night. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. or 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. I only call people. That's right. All right, guys. Have a good day. Thanks for watching. Make sure to go subscribe to the Potter Box, the Potter Stocks Trading. Look at me. I'm one hell of an advertiser. Make sure to follow that fucking idiot. Any side effects from NeuroGum? Sometimes they make you gotta shit, dude. I ain't gonna lie to you. Damn, I meant to